I still remember the way the neon at Blue Coyote Gas hummed like a tired beehive. It was past 1 in the morning in Rockford Springs, the kind of hour when the world feels hollowed out and everything echoes. Jordan Cole parked in the last bay under the light that always flickered. He was a quiet man, a dock worker, now a veteran, then a husband, always. He got himself a black coffee he never sweetened, sat in the driver's seat with the cup steaming and his hands on the wheel, like he was keeping the car's heart steady with his own. His phone lit up with a picture from his little girl Ella, holding up a lopsided volcano made of red construction paper. His wife Avery had texted 3 words that always reeled him home, "Come home safe." Headlights cut across his windshield so bright he had to squint. The cruiser braked hard close enough that his mirror rattled. Doors open, boots hit concrete. A flashlight pinned his face like a nail in a plank. Tap, tap, tap on the glass. "Open up," the deputy said like a dare. Jordan lowered the window slow, kept both hands where the world could see them. Deputy Hank Doyle leaned down the beam, swinging across the cup holders, the seat, the floor. The quiet man into the quiet car. "This your car? What are you doing here? Why are your lights off? Why are you still here?" They weren't questions. They were a verdict, just waiting for the gavel. Jordan's voice when it came was low, even like a tide coming in. "Just got a coffee. Heading out in a minute." Doyle didn't hear the words. He heard the tone. Calm, and somehow that made him angrier. Hands on the wheel now, he snapped. Jordan set his coffee down and did as he was told. He'd been through worse. Fallujah was still somewhere in the back of his mind, hot metallic, the smell of dust and diesel. Compared to that, this was just a bad dream under bad lighting. Doyle's hand hovered by his holster. "You got ID, license, registration?" "Yes, sir," Jordan said. "It's in my wallet. I'm going to reach for it. Don't move." They looked at each other. The store clerk inside had gone perfectly still, pretending not to hear what he definitely heard. A delivery van rolled up to the far pump, idling, the driver's eyes wide and unsure. "When I ask you answer," Doyle said, voice scraping now. "You understand me?" Jordan blinked once. He could have said a lot of things. He chose the smallest truth. "I'm just drinking my coffee." The shot cracked the air clean in two. Glass went everywhere, the seat, his jacket, the floor. The coffee cup tipped and bled into his lap. The clerk flinched so hard he knocked over a display of sunflower seeds. The delivery driver, a kid named Luis Park, who worked nights and napped days, raised his phone without meaning to and hit live. The frame shook as he ran closer and then steadied as he realized he didn't have to run at all. Everything was happening right there. "He's breathing," someone wrote in the comments. "Then he's not moving. Then he was just sitting there. Then I know that man, he served." The screen filled with words people throw when they don't know what else to throw. Inside the cruiser lights, Deputy Doyle holstered his weapon and looked around like the night might give him a witness that agreed with him. By sunrise, the first news hits were out. Suspected car thief, late hours, failed to comply. Protocol. The anchor moved on to the day's weather like someone changing the subject at a wake. Avery watched the segment in her kitchen and didn't breathe for a full 10 seconds. She was still in her uniform from Base Captain Avery Cole on the name tape, and her coffee went cold in her hand without her noticing. She drove to Blue Coyote without sirens. She stood by the open door of Jordan's car and looked down at a tarp too thin for what it covered. Someone's hand, maybe a rookie, tried to block her path, but her eyes made him step aside. "He survived a war zone," she said quietly to the nearest camera, "and he died buying coffee at home." That was all. No tears on cue, no theatrics. Just a blade of a sentence, clean and sharp, and it cut through the noise the way only truth does. The internet doesn't need permission to catch fire. Luis's live stream was on every feed, every thread cut into clips, slowed down, zoomed in until you could see the steam from the coffee, the tremor in Jordan's breath, the half second where his hands lifted just a little higher to show they were empty. A veteran posted an old photo with Jordan, the two of them sunburned and young, and pretending not to be scared. That got shared more times than anyone could count. Avery went to see a lawyer whose office smelled like old paper and coffee that had been reheated too many times. "We can file right away," he said. "Civil rights violation, wrongful death. Push it, federal class action if it grows." "I don't want a settlement," she said. "I want the truth out loud, all of it, where they can't cut the parts that matter." He held her gaze a long beat. Then we're not fighting for damages. We're fighting for daylight. That night, her inbox pinged from an address that looked like a mistake. Subject line original body cam. The message was 2 sentences long. Don't trust what they release. This is the real thing. She clicked the link and watched the world tilt. The footage was from Doyle's chest. You could hear everything, his boots, his breath, the tap on the glass. And you could see everything the official clip didn't show. Jordan raising both hands, fingers spread wide in the neon. Jordan saying steady and tired, "I'm a veteran, sir. I just got coffee." The shot that followed felt like betrayal itself had a sound. Avery sent the file to 3 people, the lawyer, a journalist she trusted, and a name she hadn't said out loud in years, Mason Ridge. He used to be the kind of man the military never officially admitted existed, the one who went where the map went blank. Now he lived outside town in a cabin that leaned against a stand of pines like it was bone-tired. She drove out there. No small talk. She slid a USB across his table. They cut his hands out of the story, Mason. They cut his words out. They called it protocol. He looked at the footage, jaw-clenched, eyes gone far. "You sure, Cap?" he said finally. "You want to go where there aren't any signs." "I didn't choose the battlefield," she said. "It chose my front porch." Within a week, Mason's kitchen table turned into a war room. No unit patches, no badges, just people who still knew how to move quiet, a former cyber ops wizard who drank his coffee like it owed him money, a reconnaissance guy whose notebook never left his pocket, and a pilot who could plan a route through a locked filing cabinet. They didn't take oaths. They didn't need to. The mission was small enough to write on a napkin. Expose Hank Doyle. Expose the machine that made Hank Doyle possible. The pushback came fast and petty. Unmarked sedans idled outside Avery's house at odd hours, headlights aimed through her blinds. Calls at midnight hang-ups, breathing nothing. Ella came home from 4th grade with a face trying not to crumple. "They said Dad was a criminal," she whispered from the doorway. "That he resisted." Avery knelt until she was level with her girl. "Your father did what was right when nobody was watching." That's the opposite of a criminal. She went on live TV not to weep, but to issue a vow. "If justice won't come to us, I'm going to go get it." No lightning, no drum roll, just a sentence that sounded like a promise and a warning at the same time. A former sergeant met Avery in the back booth of a diner that served the same 5 things all day, every day. He slid a stack of papers across the table like a man handing over a weapon. "Cameras die when Doyle shows up," he said. "Cases disappear. Reports edited. I kept copies. I couldn't keep living like it was nothing." Back at the cabin, Mason's crew began pulling threads. The cyber guy found a blind spot in the department's backup system's old hardware with a new password some intern probably thought was clever. Files trickled in, not enough to bury anyone, but enough to show a pattern. Internal messages that read like someone forgot the internet is forever. If they don't comply, give them lead. Paperwork will cover it. Photos mislabeled on purpose. Timestamps shaved. Mic cuts where the truth should be. "Drop it all now," the recon man argued. "Not yet," Mason said. "We don't shout. We build the bell and then we ring it once so loud they can't pretend nobody heard." The department tried to pull off a magic trick. They held a press conference with Doyle standing there in a starched uniform and a rank he'd never earned. "Smear campaign," the spokesman said. "The real victims are our officers under attack." Avery turned off the TV so Ella wouldn't see her mother put a fist through the drywall. That night, the bell rang. Mason's team posted everything, the original body cam, the internal messages, the altered reports scattered across servers and like they were tossing seeds from a moving truck. They sent the same packet to a dozen independent newsrooms that couldn't be bought, and one national anchor who still liked the smell of a story that could get him fired. The country sat down and watched. The anchor skipped the usual talk. "We have documents never shown to the public. The man shot at Blue Coyote wasn't a suspect. He was a decorated veteran named Jordan Cole. An old buddy of Jordan's appeared on the screen, voice catching, describing the day Jordan carried him out from under fire." The anchor didn't cut away. He let the silence work. The next morning, Rockford Springs looked like it had been loved too hard. Flowers at the pump where Jordan bled. Candles in jars. Kids with poster board signs that said, "He just wanted coffee." Veterans lined the courthouse without saying a word, heads bowed for 8 minutes and 46 seconds. The silence was so loud, people cried just to break it. The machine kept grinding. The city's data center had an electrical fire right after midnight, cameras down, doors locked from the inside, the entire digital memory of a department, suddenly smoke and rumor. An hour after sunrise, an anonymous post went up. "You burned the servers, not the conscience." Attached was a link that would outlive 1,000 hard drives. Avery stayed off camera. She posted one photo, Jordan in uniform, eyes steady the metal on his chest.